just 90 miles from here. There's a country where justice and freedom are out of reach. That's why my policy towards Cuba will be guided by one word: liberty. Liberty. The road to freedom for all Cubans must begin with justice for Cuba's political prisoners. The injustice done to them is a threat to justice for all of us. But there are few better ambassadors for freedom than Cuban Americans. And the money they send to Cuba can help make their families less dependent on Castro's regime. That's why when I'm president, I'll grant Cuban Americans unrestricted rights to visit family and send remittances to the island. Because that's the way to bring about real change in Cuba. Through strong and smart diplomacy, not just tough talk. It's time we had a president who will realize that. As president, I'm not going to take off the embargo. It's an important inducement for change because we know Castro's death will not automatically guarantee freedom. And I'll use aggressive and principled diplomacy to send a post-Fidel government a clear message. If you open up to democratic change, the United States will begin to take steps to normalize relations. If freedom is advanced, we can change the U.S.-Cuban relationship. If you have my word, and the government and the people of Cuba should hear my call, that our cause is simple. It's what drove my father across an ocean, and many of you across the waters to our south. That principle of liberty. That principle that until there's justice in Cuba, there's no justice anywhere, just like when there's no justice anywhere in the world, we've got to pay attention as Americans. It's time, until there is freedom and economic power in Haiti, we can't rest. Until there is liberty in Darfur, we can't rest. It's time for America to lead again. It's time for us to lead. With our values and our ideals, with our examples. I want to go before the United Nations and say America's back.